everyone, how are we going today? Today is project 2 of our Christmas in July, and this week I have a beautiful little card for you. I've made it in what looks like a Santa coat and an elf coat. So we're going to make the Santa one today, but I just thought I'd show you that it's quite versatile. You can do it in both. I did use a bit of holographic paper while I was waiting for my silver to come in, and so I've used the normal silver now. Inside they are both identical. One's printed in red and one in green. They're just really pretty cards, really simple cards to make. I think anybody could make these. So let's show you what we're going to use to start off with, and then we'll get on to making the card. Okay, so we're going to use the Merry Christmas to All stamp set, and we're going to be using the Merry and Christmas off of this. And we're going to use the Dashing Deer, and we're going to use the Happiest of Christmas and Remembering You this season with warm thoughts and a wish for everything merry. So that's the beautiful sets we're going to use, and we're going to use the layering ovals to make the collar. And we're going to use the second scallop one. So third scallop one, sorry, third scallop size. So to make the collar, so I'll show you how that's done as well. Okay, so let's get on and we'll see what we need. Alright, so here's all our pieces, and we're going to need a card base that measures 5 7/8 by 8 1/4, and we're going to score this together in a moment at 4 1/8. We're going to need 2 pieces of black that measure 5 5/8 by 3 7/8. One's for the insert and one's for the outside. And we're going to need 2 pieces of card that measure 5 3/8 by 3 5/8. The white is for the insert and the red is for the front. We're going to use a piece of black for the belt, which measures 3 5/8 by 1 1/4. And we're going to use a piece of white that measures 1 inch by 5 3/8 inches for the front of the tunic for the Santa. We have our 2 scallops cut out. As you know, I don't like to bring my big shot into the picture because I find it just too heavy to lift. So I've already pre-cut them, but I'll show you how we make that up. We're going to need a piece of silver that measures 1 1/4 square, or if you have, like me, a 1 1/4 inch square punch, you can use your square punch. I just find it easy to use my square punches. And you're going to need a 1 inch square piece of black, or again, if you have a 1 inch square punch, use your 1 inch square punch. You're going to need a bit of scrap black for your buttons, which you're going to use a 1/2 inch circle punch. Again, if you've got one. If not, well, you'll have to just cut square buttons or round buttons as so. Okay, so there are our scrappy bits. So let's get on and make our card, shall we? So we're going to score our card base at the 4 1/8 mark on. And that's all the scoring we're going to do. So we're going to score that first up, and that's done and dusted. So we will fold and burnish this score line, as it makes the card a lot nicer if you've burnished it rather than just folding it. It always seems to sit flatter and smoother once that's done. Okay, so let's pop that on one side, and we will do our little bit of stamping to start off with, because there's not a real lot that's on the insert. So we're going to use real red ink, and I've actually mounted my stamps on my block so that they're together because I wanted them that way. And we're going to stamp this in the center. Look at that, how beautiful does that look? And then we're going to stamp our, like a little, it's not a wreath, it's a garland at the top and the bottom in the red. Okay, so that's our stamping done, except for our Merry Christmas across the top. So we'll close that off and pop that one away. So we're going to, we might as well mount that onto our black out of the way and pop that on the inside of our card. That way that piece is done, and then we can concentrate on the outside. So we'll glue this on here like so. And doesn't it look so stunning in the red on the white and mounted onto the black? It just looks very Christmassy. Okay, and we're going to pop this onto the inside of the card. And that's now on the inside of the card, and our card can sit out of the way while we're building the rest of it now. Okay, so we're going to use our red piece first, and the reason we're just using the red and not mounting it onto the black piece is so that we can cut our collar properly. So we're going to put our white strip down the middle of our tunic like that, and we're going to glue that into place. I don't know why I keep putting the lid on the glue. Oh, come on, I can't pick it up this morning. And we're going to pop this so that it's flush top and bottom, and you can eyeball it or you can mark it if you want, so that it's down the middle of the card. Okay, so then we're going to glue our two pieces of collar onto here like so, and I just find that I just glue it into place. I hold it up, I find it easier if I hold it up so that none of the red is showing, but you want it on a bit of an angle so that it looks really pretty. And again, the same on the other side. Once you've done that and you're happy with the way that looks, pop the lid on the glue again while we do the next bit. We're going to just use our snips, and we're going to trim this back so that it's along the edge of the red part. Try not to cut your red at all, because you don't want a wonky edge on there. Okay, so that's all cut out really nicely and looks very pretty along the top there. Let's get rid of those bits. And I'm going to then stamp my image, my Merry Christmas, across the top here, so that that's stamped out of the way. So we've got our real red again, and I've mounted my Merry and Christmas onto my block, and I'm going to just stamp that across the top here. Try and centralise it across the top there, and wow, just looks good. I just think a card without a saying on the front, especially for Christmas, looks really strange. Okay, so now we're going to, I'm finding this black seems to fluff. We're going to put our belt on, so we need our 3 5/8 by 1 1/4 piece of black, and we're going to pop this on the front of the card. Roughly where we want the belt to be. I mean, I think a belt looks nice down here, but if you want it up higher, that's up to you. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to cut out, in my case, or if you have already cut out, your 1 1/4 inch silver square, and we're going to pop that onto a couple of foam pads on the back, just to give him some height, and we pop him onto the front of the card. I like to centralise it, but again, it's up to you. I'm then going to cut out my 1 inch square out of my other piece of scrap. Oops. And I'm going to glue that onto the top of that card, that silver. That way it just looks like the middle of the belt showing. I think that's starting to look quite pretty, isn't it? Okay, so now before we put the buttons on, we're going to actually mount this onto here. And I find that doing that before I do the buttons, just because I've already got one piece of foam pads on there, otherwise it's just too high for me to get it on there nicely. Oops. And we're going to pop that in there, and it just frames it beautifully with the black behind it, and it just looks stunning. For me it looks stunning anyway. So now we're going to glue this to the front of our card, and this is a very quick and easy card to make. So you will find the written tutorial for this on the same day that this goes live on my YouTube. You will find the written tutorial on my Facebook group. So if you would like the written tutorial with all the measurements on it, please feel free to head over there and have a look. And it's a free download. All you have to do is, it's a closed group, so you have to join. But I am very quick at answering people, so that's not oh, that one went on the floor, never mind. So we'll do a couple more. We want 2 buttons for the front of our card for him, and we're going to pop these on with I've got mini dimensionals here. These are very tiny actually. So, and we're just going to pop these on the front of the card where we think they look good, which I think about there and there for me. Okay, so that's our card for this week. It was a very quick one, only 12 minutes long, this video. I might ramble on for another minute or so, but there you go. That's our card. There's my original one with and I used holographic there. I think it looks good in both, and the holographic on the elf card. So it's a very quick and easy card, and yet it looks so effective. I hope you've liked this week's project, and I will see you again with Christmas in July project number 3 next week. So bye for now.